We are 6 months away from the new year. Maybe you're not feeling so good right now. Or maybe you're feeling like things aren't happening the way that you want. If you're watching this video, there is something inside of you that needs to recover, reassess, and pull your power back. Before I get into anything, I just want to remind you that it's okay. Wherever you're at in life, even if it feels rocky right now, this is simply just a sign to let you know that a new beginning is arriving for you. Don't get discouraged by this feeling. This too shall pass. So what do you do when this feeling is ever present? How can you cope with what feels impossible to ignore? You make a new plan, and let me show you how. If you haven't met me yet, my name is Faith, aka Arlandria Speaks, and I am a personal development junkie, spiritual girly, an aspiring life coach that wants to help you become the highest version of yourself. So after all of that, let's just get right into it. Step 1, don't sweat the small stuff. Give yourself grace. So something inside of you right now is telling you that what you're doing isn't enough. And when we have that recognition, it's actually a good sign that our emotions and our body and our soul and our spirit is recognizing that whatever we're doing isn't working. And that's actually okay. That's actually a good sign, because when you recognize it, you're able to change it. You're able to make yourself feel a little bit more comfortable in the aspect of changing yourself. And when I say give yourself grace, I mean give yourself grace at all times. Even if you haven't achieved your goals for that day or that week, or you made your goals in January, like me, I've made my goals in January and you completely forgot about them, because that's okay. Like, that's cool. You can restart at any time. You are never on a time period. It's never too late. It's never too soon. Sometimes you just really have to remember that what you're doing is, at the end of the day, for you, and you're the only person that can judge whether it's right or wrong, whether it's enough or not enough, whether you're worthy or you're not worthy. You are the deciding factor, and recognizing that and giving yourself grace and loving yourself radically means accepting where you are. You are worthy right now. Just because you didn't achieve your goals, or you did achieve your goals and now you're like, what the hell do I do now? You're still worthy in this moment. You're worthy every single moment of the day, and you have to decide that for yourself. So don't sweat the small stuff. If you didn't get what you needed done in a certain day, that doesn't mean that you're not still worthy. People always say there is so much quality and consistency, and there is so much quality and consistency. But when you're deciding a plan and you overwhelm yourself with a plan, it's okay to stop. Give yourself time to rest and reassess what needs to happen next. So even if you're doing the bare minimum for consistency, if you're making a plan, set the goal for bare minimum. I know it's hard for you girlies out there who are perfectionists, or a person out there that's really goal oriented or really wants to get shit done, and that's awesome. It's an awesome thing to have in your life, but you don't want to overwhelm yourself and throw the whole thing out the window, because that happens more often than you think. Step 2 is reassess your plan. So look back at the goals that you created for yourself. Is it too much? Has it expired its time? Does it not align with what you want anymore? Are you overwhelming yourself? It's so easy to get caught up in making everything a priority. If you don't make a choice for what is priority, nothing will be a priority. Consider what is most valuable to you in this time. So if it's you really want to find a new career, or you really want to get back into your fitness and that's super important to you, or you really want to start your business and that's really important to you, make 3 tiers and set the bare minimum goal. So I struggle myself with overachieving and doing a little too much more than my body and my mind and my spirit need. So really just do the bare minimum. Say you want to start exercising again and you're a beginner. Do not tell yourself that you're going to work out 5 times every week, because if you don't live up to that goal, then you're going to get disappointed. And when you get disappointed, you get discouraged and The day that you decide not to show up for yourself, you're going to be so overwhelmed with the outcome of not doing what you said you were going to do that you throw the whole thing out the window. Again, you don't want to do the goals anymore. You don't want to be in fitness anymore because you failed. And so you're going to say to yourself, oh, I'm going to just try this again next week. When really, if you disappointed yourself and you didn't show up that day, that's okay. And sometimes even doing the bare minimum. So if you said, I'm going to work out 1 time a week and you work out 5, then you're going above and beyond what you expected out of yourself. So you're more inclined to want to keep doing that thing. Or for your career, let's say you want to start a business or you want to be a writer. Just make step 1 the key component to what you need to do. You can think about step 2, 3, 4, and 5, but don't focus on all of that because then you're going to get overwhelmed and then you're not going to want to do it at all. Give yourself time to actually accumulate to what you're doing. When you're reassessing your life and you're really trying to grow and form yourself into a way that you're not most likely not comfortable with, because if it's a goal, it's something you want to work on. If you're not comfortable with it, it's obviously going to feel uncomfortable doing so in the meantime. You're trying to build a base. You want to build a routine for yourself. So when you're building this routine, the best way to integrate it is into baby steps, into mini changes over time that become large. And when you do this, it gives your body and your nervous system and your mind time to actually recognize, like, okay, you're giving yourself that grace and you're opening up yourself to new opportunities, but you're also recognizing that this might be difficult. So you're giving yourself that room. Everybody is different. Nobody's going to have the exact same goals. Nobody's going to want the exact same things. A huge part of reassessing your plan is recognizing what you need for you, what is most important to you, what exactly is too much for you, because we all have a different tolerance cap. So just be careful with that and understand that you are different than so many other people. For example, there is a girl I know at work that has 2 jobs, right? She does an overnight shift and then she comes in the morning. For me, I could not do that. There's nothing wrong with that though. There's nothing wrong with recognizing where your cap is, and that's actually a really freaking good thing. It is summer. We have to remember that it's summer, so don't fill your plate too freaking full. If you're trying to have a hot girl summer and you want to work on your goals at the same time, don't fill your plate too much. Just like enjoy it. Enjoy being present. And it's okay to focus on your goals and at the same time be present. We really want to work on the balance of that. And how do you not reach burnout? And how do you actually work hard and play hard at the same time? That's super important. So really enjoy your time. Make sure you're being present with yourself, with your life. You want to look in the future. You want to manifest whatever you're working on at the same time, right? But you also have to remember and be grateful and have gratitude for this moment right here. This moment is so important, and the present moment is exactly where we're living now. And if we can't feel that happiness, or we're always looking forward, we're never going to feel like we're in a place of gratitude. Step 3 is the emotional regulator. Do something that you know will bring you back to life. So sometimes our emotions are a gateway to trapping ourselves into a tailspin of negative emotions, right? So let's say you're on week 3 of working out 3 times a week, right? And then you reach a peak, or you're in your luteal phase if you cycle sync, and you don't have that energy. You can do the bare minimum, and that's okay. Let's just say you do yoga for 20 minutes. That's still an exercise. That's still a workout. You don't have to go hard at every single moment. You can coast. You can still do what you need to do, but you don't have to go hard every second of every single day. When you're in this negative mindset, sometimes our mind convinces us that what we're doing isn't enough, or we need to change it. So you're ever changing, ever present, and then it feels like it's too much, and then you don't want to do anything. Give yourself room for your feelings and understand where they're coming from. Understand what is hurting you and why it's hurting you. Because when you understand the why, that's how you can problem solve. Because if it's too much for you, you have to be honest with yourself and give yourself that grace. Like I said in step 1, when we're in the process of having our goals and changing our habits and working all of this, we have to figure out a way to regulate ourselves and reground ourselves. Like I said previously in step 2, this is not always going to feel comfortable. Stepping into new habits, new goals, a new mindset, all of this is a lot. It can be a lot on your emotions. It can be a lot on your brain, because your brain wants you to feel safe, is destined to make you feel comfortable. And sometimes the comfortable is not exactly what we need anymore. Maybe it's not in alignment with what we need. But we also have to give ourselves that grace, because part of our brain is the ego, and the ego is letting us know, like, hey, this is a lot. This is a lot for us right now. You don't want to ignore that part of yourself, because it is a part of you. Your ego necessarily isn't you, but it's a part of you. So you have to find ways to reground yourself in your intention or in your goal. And the ways that you can do that, there's so many freaking ways. Yoga, meditation, going on a walk, journaling. Journaling's a huge one for me. That's the best way for me to regulate my emotions and understand where they're coming from, because it's so freaking important. Having an emotional intelligence and knowing yourself is so important, because it helps you reach the highest version of yourself faster, in all honesty. So really focusing on your emotions and understanding where they're coming from is super important, no matter what process you're in. So now that we've given ourselves grace, reassessed our plan, and we found emotional regulators that are going to help us in this process of reassessing our summer goals or our halfway the year goals, we're getting on to step 4, which is execute. Stay consistent and be freaking brave. One thing I want to say is don't overthink it. Once you've already made a plan and you've started the process of doing that plan, don't overthink yourself into backing out of what you wanted to do. And what I mean by this is also be excited. Be excited for your plan. If you're not excited for what your goals are, then those goals need to go out the window, because you need to be excited. You don't want to be in a position where you're thinking, I have to do this. Oh my gosh, I have to go meditate and I have to go exercise and I'm just so tired of doing all of this. Like, if you're in that mindset and you're in that perspective, you're gonna get the thing done, but you're not gonna feel good while you're doing it. And when I say be brave, I mean open yourself up to the new possibility and figure out what works for you. So if you're trying fitness out for the first time, or you're trying fitness out again after many years, just try different things. Do dance videos, do Zumba, do weightlifting, do Pilates, do yoga. If you're trying to work on your career and you're trying to figure out what social media content to use first, try everything and see what works best for you, because you are an individual at the end of the day, and you are form-fitted. You're one of a kind. You're unique. So you have to remember that what you feel, maybe not everybody else feels, and you have to recognize that within yourself. Commit to your practice, whatever that looks like. So whatever you decide upon, I want to read a book every single day, or I want to read at least 20 pages every single day. Commit to that. And even if you show up for yourself and you say, this is the goal that I'm going to set, do not get upset and discourage yourself. Like I said again, just do the bare minimum. If you said, I want to read 20 pages every day, if you can only read 10, at least you tried. At least you set out for a goal, you committed to that goal, and you still showed up, even if you didn't fully do that goal that day. It is never too soon or too late to start a goal, a wish, or a dream. So even if you haven't started over yet, and this is the first time, you're doing everything you need to do. You're in this moment, or you're watching this video right now, because this is the start of it. So give yourself grace. The version of you right now, like I said in the beginning of this video, is exactly who you need to be. You're where you are, you're doing what you can, and that's all we can do is try our best and keep going. The meaning of life is just trial and error and understanding where our desires come from. And we forget about the error part, right? We only want to do the trials and we only want to succeed, but we also have to remember that there's a yin and yang to everything. There's a balance to everything. So even if you're starting now, welcome. Even if you're starting now, you are exactly where you need to be, and you're exactly designed and doing whatever it feels good to you right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. More videos to come. If you liked it, please give me that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.